credit. This looks impossible.
Credit scores can be loan obstacles too.
How do I get to good credit?
Get credit advice for life from WesBanco. Money doesn't make you wealthy. Understanding it does.
Welcome to the Harp and Habit, Steubenville's hidden gem. Here, Irish charm dances with local warmth. Picture shepherd's pie, fish and chips, and soda bread, all crafted with care. Whether it's family, friends, or romance, every meal becomes a celebration. Join us. Where good food meets great memories, you belong here. At Trinity Health System in Steubenville, we believe in healing the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. Partnering with Franciscan University, we offer cutting-edge care infused with compassion and faith. Experience a community where health meets hope. Choose Trinity, where your well-being is our mission, and together we thrive in wellness.
Looking for your dream home in the Ohio Valley? Cedar One Realty is here to help. Our expert agents know the local market inside and out. From cozy bungalows to spacious family homes, we've got options for every budget. Trust us to guide you home. Call Cedar One Realty today, 740-264-7131, or visit our website, cedaronerealty.com. Your future awaits.
All right, we're here at the Harp and the Habit, Steubenville's Irish Pub, the Joe Wallace Coaches Show, Barons Basketball. I want to welcome you in right before the game here. We got Geneva following this show. With us right now, we got Timmy Delaney, the voice of the Barons, Coach Joe Wallace, and the newest addition to the staff at the university, Kurt Davidson from San Diego. He moved here because of the weather.
That's right.
It was a big attraction for him.
I've been saving up for years to move here for the weather.
So we're gonna start with Kurt here, to my immediate right. Kurt, tell us here what you're doing here, what drew you to the university, and what plans you have to make Baron basketball a better show.
Yeah, well, thank you. First of all, short history. I was a student here in the 90s at Franciscan, so it's like coming back home. And of course, I've been saving up since the 90s to move here for the weather. So can't wait to bring the weather with me. But my background is AV production, so audio visual, and brand new role, brand new department, and the goal really is to up our game from an AV perspective. So what you might see at an NBA game, maybe we start bringing a small little piece of that, little by little, to the
we like that.
Finnegan Field
Yes,
House.
I love that. I love that talk.
Lights, better our projection inside the field house, maybe even up our game a little bit in other video areas. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you. That's
Glad
for
to be
sure.
here.
You were a student here in the 90s. I mean, in all reality, was this something that just came about, or was this something that was in the works? I mean, I know you didn't wake up one morning and say, "Hey, I'm going back to Steubenville."
That's right. No, so I was a comm arts student at the university, and almost immediately after graduating, started working in live production. So what you would think of our summer conferences, but all of the remote sites across the country. And so managing production, sound, video, and lighting for those conferences remotely. And the short of the long is the university started asking, hey, when will you move out here to manage this for us? And I would scoff at the idea, how would I ever move away from San Diego? But here I am, and the Lord works in mysterious ways. And so you're right, I didn't just wake up one morning. This has been in the works for almost 5 years now. So starting to plan a department and a role, and so it's been in the works, and I can't wait. I've been here since January 6th, and I just can't wait to continue to make improvements.
And Raymond, it helps that Kurt's two best friends from college are Bob Lesniewski and me.
That's right. Timmy and I were
Reel him in.
Lived together. We were best of friends, and Bob Lesniewski as well, and a few others who work here. So it's like actually like coming home. You know,
I
thank
gave
God.
Bob Lesniewski his start.
You did, absolutely,
But
downtown.
did you do his first
No,
tattoo?
Bob Lesniewski. No, he's covered. Bob Lesniewski, when I was running the Catholic Community Center downtown, when I got out of coaching, he came to me and he was working with the at-risk students
Yeah.
in the town, and all those at-risk students were my students.
Mm-hmm.
And he came in and we sat down upstairs in the gym and we had a great conversation about his vision and how can I help him. And that was he was forming the Urban Underground at that time.
That's right.
And we gave him a room in the Catholic Community Center for his meetings, and he turned that room into an amazing place. Put a stage in it, ran electricity to it, did a heck of a job. And the next time I saw him was at the university when they was introducing somebody at a meeting at it used to be I forget what's it called now. It was the old Holiday Inn.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's,
Damon's.
Well, it was
Damon's.
Yeah.
I met him in there, and it was an introduction of new staff, and he had just become, I believe, full time because he was part time all that time.
Yep.
So I go back with Bob since the mid '90s at that time as well, or maybe early 2000s.
Yeah, he loves you, man.
Yeah, he's my buddy. He's a good man,
Yeah, he is.
and he does something that I always considered dear to my heart, and that was reaching out to the kids that are falling through the cracks.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
know, my goal was always, if I would have 12 kids that should be seniors and are only sophomores because they're credit deficient, my goal was always, let's try and make one of them a productive part of society, you know, to be able to get a job and be productive. And me and Bob worked hand in hand with that. So
Yeah.
it's
That's
a joy for me to see him,
Yep.
you know, doing as well as he is.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Coach Wallace,
Yeah.
you're like Jesus being crucified with the two sinners on one on the right and one on the left. You know you're carrying both of these guys, Coach. Let's get your personal opinions on what's going on here.
What's going on with all this?
You're pulling it together, Coach.
Pulling it together. I'll pull it together. Yeah, I mean, adding Kurt to his staff. I mean, I haven't known him since he showed up. We met him here, probably before you even got here. But it just keeps speaking to what we're trying to do at the university and keep advancing. I mean, this is not a basketball. I think he brought up in the arena, but like all these productions we do, I mean, we should be doing them at a big time level because our audience goes global, right? So having Kurt here is going to help us enhance that, and it's something that we really needed to take it to the next level, which he's already done.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I really, really, really appreciate that attitude because in the time that Ohio Valley Sports has been with you,
Yeah.
our attitude was in reality, wow, at the very beginning, wow, Joe's working his butt off, but it still looks like a club basketball operation. And you've grown so much from that, bringing the professionalism into it and making it something enjoyable for everybody to watch.
Yep.
So you've had some definite growing pains as far as the facilities and everything has gone. And to get Kurt on board and Timmy working in the background, you're making things better for your athletes, your students, and your fans in the community.
Yeah,
That's how I look at it.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Raymond, the most fun that I've had is this last year to this year. We could see the threads of a good program coming the last few years, right? You had Josh coming around, and we got Sawyer coming in here last year. We could see it coming, but the joy of walking around that field house and Joe Karabi's there, and Dave Click, and Joe Lucchino, and all of them are like they're like shocked at how good the basketball is. Like we never would have been a magnet for them without winning. You got to win.
You got to win. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you have naysayers because when Joe sends me that Cub 58, and I send that to everybody that I know on my phone, inviting them to come up and for free, inviting them to come up and watch the game. And the biggest thing is you have overcome
Yep.
the naysayers because
Absolutely.
they come up and they say, "Wow."
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Wow.
Yep.
I mean, like I said, the President's Athletic Conference, I mean, I'm a basketball junkie.
High level.
And it caught me
Yep.
off guard. I said, man,
Yep.
I mean, you know, Joe Wallace got a long way to go because
Yep.
these programs are established
Yep.
and they can play ball. To see the Barons compete at that level now and win, I mean, this is a dream come true for the city.
Yes,
For
it
the
is.
city.
Exactly.
I mean, that's my point. My dream has always been, and I've said it to you guys 100 times, for Steubenville to be Athens, Ohio.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas OU
College town.
takes over the whole city
Yep.
when they're
Yeah.
in session.
Yep.
You know, it's a college town.
College town.
And when people say anything to me about the university, my attitude is this: let them go, give them everything they want. You know, they're people aren't diving into Steubenville, you know, in grows, but the university is attracting people. It's growing. I've said it 100 times.
Yeah.
They come off the hill. They develop this whole green strip.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing for a guy
Absolutely.
like me who got grandkids that are here.
Amen.
Oh,
Amen.
definitely.
Job creation.
You know, you said it like through all that, which is beautiful how you put that out from your perspective of what this university means to this community. You know, when I first got here, we had a lot of work to do, right? And anybody within, I don't even know, an hour radius could care, you know, because we weren't very good, right? And we didn't have the infrastructure in place at that time to make it that good. We just had to kind of keep taking these baby steps and getting people to understand what we were building here. And now we look back sitting here today, and I can go back to like with recruiting Josh, who was just on here. Like he made that first big step of wanting to be in on our environment, which created a lot of people to start looking here now, right? And then the area high school coaches understand like what our program's about, you know, not just, you know, coaching them, but how we're developing men. And then the university's understanding too, and that was a part of it too, for them to understand really what we were trying to
Wow,
build
Joe,
here.
you took the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just the community. I mean, it was a lot.
You have swung the university.
Absolutely.
It had to, because it has to be everybody involved.
Yeah.
It has to
Yeah.
be the university and the community. And now that we're starting to see that, now that's where we're at now. I mean, shoot, we can. I mean, our goals are way higher than we are right now for this program.
And to Joe's credit, Raymond, you know, you can either lean into the mission of the university or say, hey, we're the basketball team and we're at this university. And what Joe has done is the university is the selling point for these players because it's the mission of the university is ingrained in the basketball program and it's attracting guys. It's not just Catholic guys. It's people who want what we've got going on here. And that's Joe. Joe, you know, his leadership.
Well, yeah, we've come a long way. I appreciate that, but it's taken time, you know, and to be able to see now the foundation's been set. Now we're building this thing up. I mean, it's taken a lot of work, but it's not just me. It's taken our guys that jumped on as coaches that put a lot of time into it. These guys have done amazing jobs. Got people on campus now, you know, that have seen through the inside of what we're about now, jumping on board. Community now seeing, all right, what is happening with this program, what's happening at the university. And you said it, the basketball program meant so much to this community back in the 60s and 70s and the 50s for sure. And that was a bridge between the university and the town. And now it's becoming that again. And that's what we really want this to be. And yeah, winning games is great, but getting people with us is amazing. It really is. And that's what we want this program to be.
Well, I want to credit you on one thing that I could say here on air is there's been jobs that have opened up, college jobs that have been opened up in this area where I thought, you know, Joe Wallace would be a great fit for, and I encouraged him to go. I said, you got to go after this job, Joe. And Joe came back very simple, and he said, my job's not done there. And I said, wow. I said, that's a beautiful thing. So I want to commend you on that.
This is Joe's Kentucky. That's what he told his team.
Yeah, it is. I mean, to be able to, people could look at it from back in the time when I came here, and there wasn't a lot of people in my inner circle, inner circle, and people that are close with coaching wise are like, what are you doing? Why would you do this? Well, I've gotten more out of this for my livelihood, the blessings of being at this university, being back in Steubenville. You know, I was born here but grew up down the river. But this is me here. There's no other fit that I could be myself, you know, with the faith and the way I am in this town anywhere else. So it is my Kentucky.
And Raymond, I gotta say this. Like, we Joe and I talk a lot about this, about engaging the community and stuff, and it's so humbling to watch people from the community give us credibility. And that's you, and that's
Yes.
Danny.
Oh yeah,
That's
definitely.
Coach Maz. It's Joe Lucchino, Franco, Dave Click. You go up and down. But I want to say this, like, we got the Barron Club coming up. It's going to be a great dinner. Kevin Stefanski, April 10th. We were with
yeah.
Mike Simon.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Let's definitely get into
good
that.
man.
So Mike Simon's with us. We went up to see Kevin Stefanski, who's our speaker, Cleveland Brown head coach. And he described the Barron Club dinner as, there used to be a Lou Holtz dinner. This is now the era of that. And to hear someone from the community give us that blessing as replacing the Lou Holtz dinner, oh my gosh, humbling. That's him believing in the credibility up here from Father Dave down, Joe, you know. So I want to thank you. I want to thank OVSO. I want to thank Dan, Maz, everybody, because you've given us credibility.
Yeah, that's not
backed us.
Be overstated. You guys jumping on board with us has been a major piece to it all, and that's why the relationship is. We always know, like, Ray, you just call me if there's any issues. Well, because to me, it's that important to have you guys with us, and we can't thank you guys enough. I mean,
Listen, the feeling's mutual on that because High Valley Sports Online, we love our relationship with the university. Whether we're setting up at the golf tournament, having fun, or whether we're calling games. Now we're hoping that Kurt's going to upgrade us a little bit here. We got that on air.
It's on air now.
Make sure you archive that so we can go back to that. But I can't tell you the fun that we've had, and you know what it means to me personally. I mean, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse when I refer to the teams of the '60s, but that was such an impression upon my mind. I mean, going into St. John Arena and seeing all the college students come in and having a great time and watching quality basketball. I mean, it was part of my childhood that I'll never forget.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
I'll chime in. You know, part of why I moved here, in all honesty, is when you buy into a mission. You know, it doesn't matter where you live so much as, I mean, of course, my heart's here at Franciscan University, but there's so much that's going on here. And the biggest piece, the biggest influence for my move here was as high as Father Dave and the executive board and Timmy and others saying, look, we know that we've got to make improvements, and we're standing up and backing up our word by, look, this is stuff that's going to happen. We know we've got to make improvements from a technological standpoint. And in reference to the games, I mean, I can see this growing, you know, from the community. Think about families coming to enjoy the games. The game is important, but there's so much more we can do to build experience. And that's what excites me. And to hear someone as high as Father Dave say, look, we want community involved, families can be coming and enjoying the games, and that's what I'll bring to the table. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's going to take a little bit of time. But by this time next year, gosh, I sure hope that the experience is night and day different.
Take all the time you want, but be ready by November.
So all to say, it's exciting.
It is exciting. Very
time.
exciting. Very exciting time.
All right.
Okay, this is a beautiful segment here. Barron's going to tip off here at 3 o'clock against Geneva. This is a High Valley Sports Online live from the Harp and the Habit, Steubenville's Irish Pub. We'll be right back to talk some basketball today. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll be right back.
Awesome, guys.
Nice.
Welcome into a High Valley Sports Online special edition of the Joe Wallace Coaches Show featuring Barron basketball. Today we have with us the seniors here at the Harp and the Habit. our sponsor for this show. First off, we want to congratulate these seniors on what we consider a great turnaround as far as the Barons go, trying to bring us back to the greatness of the 60s of the Barons. You guys have put in a lot of time. We want you to talk about your 4 years. Josh, you can expand on your 9 years. So we're going to be able to do that. Josh is a fifth-year graduate student that we're going to be able to talk about. He's in the workforce now. He's just coming back and playing basketball part-time. Going to finish up the regular season today, following this show at 3 o'clock as the Barons host Geneva, which we'll talk about later in the show. But that's the first thing that we want to talk about. We got Yon Koo here, Josh Zimmerman, Nick Alianello, and Coach Joe Wallace. So the first thing that we want to talk about in our first segment of the show is like your experience here over the 4 years, because you guys have come from a bad basketball team to now being in reality a very, very competitive team, and which I always try and tell our viewers. If you don't know about it, the President's Athletic Conference is as good as it gets in Division III basketball. It's been a joy for us in the Ohio Valley Sports Online to cover these games and seeing the good basketball. I've always thought that because of the history of the Barons, the Barons started out behind the 8 ball because of all the longevity and the tradition that the other schools have had, whereas Joe Wallace has come in and tried to build that tradition, and you guys are at the peak of where you've been. So let's share with us some of the pains that and the growth that you guys have had, and that's reality. I mean, it may be funny, it may be harsh,
it's real.
But reality is the fact of you guys experienced a lot of growing pains to get yourself to where you're at right now, representing the city, the university, and everybody else involved. I can't tell you how proud I am to be associated with the Barons, and being a part of what's going on here. We'll start with you, Jan, because I'm sure at this table you're the smartest.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that's true. He said that's true. You joined right in there.
I mean, he's a finance guy, so he's definitely
Spread your wisdom on us, Jan. Spread your wisdom. But I want to ask you one question before we start. Is your brother Carl right-handed or left-handed?
I can't tell you.
Oh, neither could I.
I can't tell you.
So let's go.
Let me. I can set the table for these guys before you're asking. Let's rewind this back to the year from hell. If you guys don't know it, you know which one I'm talking about.
COVID, the court.
No, let's get to the court year.
Okay.
Right, that's where this. Okay. That was really the beginning of where we're at right now. We didn't have a gym. You guys can talk. I just want to set the table for you guys with that.
Sure, yeah. I mean, that was my sophomore year, and it was a painful, and I'm going to be quite honest, I was considering quitting. At the end I was considering quitting. But I feel like I also grew a lot as a man, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like one of my favorite books is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Yeah,
that's his name.
Book.
He talks about how, through adversity, you can grow as a person, you know what I'm saying? It's all about how you, how it's all about how you find ways to control the things that you can control, and for me it was kind of we had what was our record? 5.
I don't remember the record.
It was horrible. 6 a.m. practices 4 times a week, you know what I'm saying? I hated playing basketball.
Well, we weren't even practicing here at 6 a.m. We had to go load up bands, head to Big Red, and open the gym up at 5:15. Me and you were coordinating the key. I mean, it was nonstop.
It was a miserable year it was so miserable. And I remember talking to my dad. My dad was like, "Hey, you got to use this as an opportunity for you to grow as a man, because things will get tough, when I'm gonna have a job." And I mean, it helped me a lot, especially developing leadership skill, because for me before leadership was all about you know what I'm saying, how to impose your will instead of how to be a servant, and that's one main thing that I learned throughout my 4 years here.
Well, if you learn that, that's pretty special. No, honestly. I mean, what you just said is impressive.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what leadership's all about right there.
You want to tell our audience where you're from and how you ended up here?
Yeah, so I was born in Cameroon, and I moved to the U.S. when I was I think 14, so in 2016. and I came here. Should I tell the full story?
Yeah, go ahead.
Whatever you want, brother. It's your show.
Part of the reason why I came here is I came on a visit here to, meet up with my girlfriend.
Oh, that's nice. Go ahead. There you go.
Can I insert? He came on a visit here.
Don't have no faith in them women, man.
And he thought we were soft.
I did.
He did. He thought like university, their basketball program was going to be a bunch of softies. Go ahead, Jan.
Yeah, I came here.
You thought you was gonna come in and bully
Yeah,
somebody.
I came here. I thought,
You out of your mind?
I thought I was gonna set records. I thought I was gonna be the man here. Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was gonna run the show. So I got humbled pretty quick. Actually, I remember my first pickup session. This man right here, he hit 3 threes in front of me, like on my face.
You know why? Because when I first met Jan, he comes up to me and he was like acting like he was like my dad or something. He was like, oh, he's like, call me son. He's like, hey buddy, how you doing? I was like, okay. I was like,
I like it, Nick. I like it.
Oh, I got super cocky and stuff. I can't tell you what I told him, but
You can say it. He'll edit it.
You can't say it.
I can't say it. Yeah, but I got humble real quick. Like I couldn't guard anyone. I remember the first pickup run we had. I couldn't guard anyone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to learn how to guard. I had to learn how to play a fast-paced offense. Because I was the only big at the time. Like, and everybody else was like 6'4", 6'3", 6'2". So like I had to learn how to play that pace in a way, and it has helped me a lot. Like improve it has improved my defensive ability, and also and yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, we got next up. We got Josh Zimmerman, 2009 graduate of Steubenville High School. Yeah. But I remember
he's on city council now. Do you know that?
I remember the first conversation we had with Josh was I tried to impress upon him how he was he carried the flag for Steubenville and have it be a representative to enable the Franciscan University of Steubenville and their coaching staff to recruit Steubenville kids and Ohio Valley kids. And we think that's very, very important to have a little bit of Valley flavor on this team. So Josh, whenever he played basketball, they used that big, ugly leather basketball, the big bounce. But he's come back into the real time now. So Josh, let's talk about your 15 years at Francis.
man, it's been long. I played with a lot of guys. I came through this program like Jim Smith.
All-time leading rebounder of the 1954 national championship, 58 national championship team.
Yeah, can't forget about my guys, Matt Trent, John Noche,
Jimmy Garrigan.
Yeah, Schreiner. All those those seniors, draws, and when I first came in. So, we'll talk about leadership in a way. We always talk about we just can't forget the guys that were here before us because they set the path for us to allow us to lead these guys now. And I don't think we would have had this record. We've been as great as we are now if it wasn't for the guys that came through this program and Wallace helped coach. Because, like you said, I've been here for a while, so I've seen it all since Wallace been here.
You sure?
Well, Josh, I think you played a big role because I get several texts during the game that I pick up, and they're from people at the game and from people watching the game, and they're telling me, you got to tell Joe Wallace to back off Josh. You got to go down and tell Joe Wallace, let it go, man. He is on Josh too hard. And I'm saying Joe Wallace depends on Josh Zimmerman to help lead this team, and he coaches him hard. Comment on that, Josh, because, believe me, I am, in my coaching days, I made Joe Wallace look like a nun. Because of how I tried to impose my will upon my players to make it so miserable at practice that they took it on in the game. that they took this is easy. And I know Coach Wallace has told me how much he depends on you and leans on you in those tough times of the game. That's a big responsibility.
Well, he's always on me, but it's always in like a loving way. I mean, I know when he gets on, like I suggest not just me, also like seniors or who else is also playing. He brings it from like a caring way, but he always just tells me like, you're scared of it, and like me, I'm more
Well,
like
challenge your manhood.
he's challenging me, but I always take it and accept it because I don't want to I know like some games like I don't want to underperform. It's not just because not for myself, but I just don't want to let these guys down. So he's always makes sure it's like I'm in the right headspace. And he just even when we talk, I remember when I first came here, I didn't want to talk at all. Like he'll call me to his office, and we'll sit there for like probably an hour and a half, and like just making sure like I just opened up, and it was probably the best thing he's done. He just taking the time out of his day, even though he could have been done doing something else, just taking the time just for me to like talk, like just for us to talk. It would just be anything, not even just basketball. It would just be anything. But he challenges me as a leader because he knows I can be better. So, and me, I always like in my head, I always like try not to think like I don't think I'm a scorer first. I'm more of like I try to like feed off other people, and I think that's my best game. And like last game, I think. Like I'll rather have 5 assists, 5, 6, 8 assists than have like 0 points when we win like that. Like that's just my mentality. But
We'll touch on that more as we go on here with Nick. But I think that's something that's very, very obvious in this year's team is the fact that you guys like each other.
Oh, we compliment each other.
And that is a major, major hurdle to overcome as a coach. Trying, you guys can be faking it, but in reality, you can see that it's a genuine love and enjoy playing with each other.
We celebrate each other's successes every time.
Can I expand on that? Like, also, like, he shows a lot, like, in his character. Like, he's a very selfless person. Like, he would, I would share a story. Like, he would, when we go out, he would, say, yo, yeah, like, I'm not hungry. He's like, I'll buy food for you. Like, he would, force me. He would force to buy food for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, he shows a lot, like, that's part of his character. Like, he has, like, he's more than
That's good to hear, man. Usually the Steubenville guy's got somebody else paying. We got Nick, and Josh is from Steubenville High School, longtime Steubenville people, the Zimmermans, and we got Nick Alianello here from Providence, full-blooded Italian, and that's why we got him on the show, not because he's a senior. But one thing I got to say about you, Nick, I mean, this all goes in coaching high school and coaching college is way, way two different situations. Can't even compare them. But the biggest compliment I have to say about you, Nick, other than I love you because you're Italian, is the fact that, and I want you to take this in a positive way. If I'm coaching the team, you're not on the team. And I say that in this sense, and I'm saying high school to college, because my attitude is seniors are trouble. Come on in here, Derek. Derek's going to join us. Seniors are trouble at the high school level if they're not playing. And I got to compliment you because I always said, I mean, I've had seniors on my team come and tell me, Coach, don't cut him. We like him. You got to keep him on the team because my attitude is, as a senior, and this could go for Derek too, I got to compliment you guys on the fact that you have gone from playing time to now being a backup. And that takes a lot of character and a lot of class. And that's a credit to you and your family and the coaching staff to be able to accept a role and still put somebody bigger than you in your place. You know what I mean? Like it's not about Nick. It's not about Derek. It's about the Barons, and we put a lot of time and energy into this project, and we are in, and I want to help the team. When I coached, the number one thing I had on my board was this: what are you going to do today to help the team win? And I think that fits in perfect with you and Derek.
Yeah,
And you can expand
yeah,
on
I'll let
that.
them talk on it, but that's the truth.
I mean, that's myself talking from the heart, because I sit up in that press box that Timmy Delaney got me in, if we're going to call it a press box. But I'm saying I often wonder. Me and Mass talk to each other like, that's a hell of a job getting these seniors to commit as they are and still contribute in a positive way.
Yeah, I mean it's that's not always easy at times too. Like like my career here, I've had a different role almost every single season I've played here.
And I've seen
and it's been whether it's like freshman year I was playing right away, a sophomore year I took on an even bigger role. Junior year I really struggled, and then last year I haven't getting into more major minutes, kind of doing a lot of the dirty work and stuff. But it kind of taught me those the most valuable lesson I learned here is your life is just not about yourself. And the quicker you learn that is the quicker you're going to be successful in life. And it's really not about being personally successful. It's being with a bunch of guys that you genuinely care about. And we're all moving forward together and seeing guys come from, we're in a locker room with 20 guys, all come from 20 different walks of life, 20 different distinct personalities. You see guys that can come together and be kind of seek a common goal that's bigger than basketball. That's why I stick around. It's something like that it's the relationships you form. It's watching guys grow. It's taking some of the young guys under your wing, helping them not make the same mistakes you made as when I was a stupid freshman. It's those things. It's just you can learn. You learn a lot from that. And then giving it back too. It's it's so much more rewarding. I have so much more joy this year. Just doing that. I go into a game and stuff maybe 2-3 minutes, spark plug everything, come in and come out, spark plug the bench, go into the locker room, rip everybody a new one. It's the best thing ever.
Well,
Kick a trash can at practice.
There you go, man. But I love the fact of the faith side on it, and the Christian side of it, saying, you serve the Lord by serving others. Yep. That's always my prayer in the morning. Let me serve you by serving others. And that's a growing process, and you can experience the growth on this.
Yeah.
Derek Darrow, another Ohio Valley guy, welcoming in. He just got out of his phys ed class up there. Derek, let's talk about, we've been talking about the 4 years that you spent here, and I think in reality it's a credit to Joe Wallace, the university, and his staff to have seniors on the team with younger kids playing, because now people want to play for the Barons. Now you're getting some quality individuals that can come in and move older guys out. But you guys have accepted it and still
growing. Before you say it's not me, it's these guys right here. I mean, this is as real as it gets.
Absolutely.
And I'm already I know this is gonna be showing tomorrow, but whatever.
It's
Friday right now. Everybody knows it's Friday.
No, it's not Friday. It's Saturday.
But
it's Saturday, 2:00.
What all you're saying? It's these they're men, and that's what this team's been about this year. And today is going to be extremely. It's just going to be an emotional pregame thing, just because of what they mean. Not as basketball players. I'm already getting emotional now. But what they've meant to this program and this university and this community as men. These guys are men right here. And if anybody is listening to this in this area or wherever, if you want to hire somebody that's going to upgrade whatever world you're in, business, whether it's this university, it's people in this town, you got 4 guys that it doesn't get any better than this. You got to finance. I mean, that's all I got to say, man. And I mean it though. Because if you want what we're talking about, you want people when you talk about culture, you're in a business, you want guys that are going to enhance the culture, right? They're going to be serving your culture, serving your workers. It doesn't get any better than these guys right here. It has nothing to do with me. It's all these guys. And I just wanted to make sure I got that off before Derek spoke.
Derek, expand on your 4 years here.
Well, my first 4 years here, a bunch of adversity. Went through a bunch with these dudes. These dudes been through everything with me. It's my first game ever. Broke my ankle in it. My second year, getting off surgery in the summer, still struggling. Christmas break, I finally got a chance to play a little bit, and ended up getting hurt even more at the end of the year. Next year's COVID. Oh wait, no, it was the same year. Same year's. Oh no. The court flooded.
Yes.
Court flooded. That feels like COVID.
Worse than COVID.
Worse than COVID. 6 a.m. practices. A lot of guys who could be sitting here gave up on us. Quit on Coach Wallace. Quit on the alumni. Quit on themselves. So just staying strong and going through with you guys, leaning on you guys, and just.
I mean, the history of the Barons. I mean, my 7th, 8th, and 9th grade years, I watched the Barons of the 60s. Phenomenal. I mean, like when I go in Finnegan Fieldhouse and I look at the Hall of Fame and the plaques that are up there, whether it be Walt Osborne, John Hawley, Alan Curry, Gary Vogelsberger, Jim Garrigan, I mean, John Hummel, John D. Bear was the coach. This was my childhood. This is what this was my association to the Barons of seeing all the college students come in. Come on in.
We're live right now, Chris.
You can
jump on, man.
Come on in, buddy. But I'm just saying, you guys have been a pleasure for me. I mean, it's so much fun to go up on the hill. I mean, I spent my entire life at the college as a high school kid trying to date the college girls, going, getting thrown out of the student center, trying to shoot pool, trying to get in a basketball game up there, to following them. I mean, the College of Steubenville, now the Franciscan University of Steubenville, and to see the growth of it has been so special for me personally, and you guys are a part of it. And I thank you for your effort to get the Barons to where everybody wants them to be, because Joe Wallace has done something, and I called him up on the phone. He's done something that nobody before him since the 60s was able to do, and that is to get the TV station, TV9, up on the hill. I almost fell out of bed on the 11 o'clock news when I got the sports on, and they're showing the Barons playing basketball in a clip. And I text him immediately. I said, "You're a winner. It has happened." So, that's growth that you guys are a part of. And as you get older and we get texts from Bob Stroffus and former Barons, that's something you're going to enjoy 10 years from now. Yeah, you're building relationships now that will stay with you forever. And I commend you for that.
Isn't it kind of crazy though that I don't know, when I was in high school and I was thinking about playing college sports, I just figured it would be your team would be your family and stuff. But you're naming people that played in the past, years and years ago, people in the community. That's special. That doesn't happen everywhere. And this is a special place, just Steubenville in general.
I mean,
that's just crazy that how much people actually care about us, and that's how we've all thrived. I mean, we go to the grocery store and people are like, "How's the team look?" And people I've never met before, and that's
a beautiful thing.
It's just that, constant giving back and forth to each other. That as much as we, done for the university stuff, but twofold is they've taken us in little Italian kid from Johnson, Rhode Island.
Absolutely. Coach.
Yeah, I mean,
talk about the seniors as a whole.
Yeah, Derek hit on it. We go back to 2 years ago again. You find out character through when things get tough, right? And 2 years ago was we would say it after the games, the year from hell. Remember that when it was that one thing after another. But what that did, it forged where we're at right now. And we talked about this that year, whether how terrible it was. I mean, me and Nick talked about this last week. I think I would go back and do it all over again because it set us on a different path. It really hardened guys to a point where they understood what really was important in this whole program. The guys that weren't about it are no longer with us, and it's no slight on any kid there. It's just made everybody understand that this is going to be way more than you're probably ready for. Yeah. And then it stepped into last year, and then there's an influx of some talented guys that we added to it, and then we took it. What happened last year is these guys took a hold of the culture. Right, and they set the precedence what leadership was going to look like and how it needed to be all the time. So then heading into this year with Austria and then everything going with it, I mean, this group has been galvanized. galvanized. And we talked about this against Waynesburg the other night. There is no reason a team like Waynesburg should have any business being in the game with us because of how tight we are. There's no way teams like that have any business competing with us because we want to celebrate, the success together and we play for each other. And we did that in the second half. And that second half of basketball was the best basketball in this town since the 60s. Or maybe 72. And that was. I mean, it was joy spread because of guys playing with, for each other. And it really was. Too bad you couldn't be there.
I was watching my niece, Lucy. They got beat 50-50. Oh, no. It was ugly.
But it was. For all not just saying there was other good things that had happened before, but the way that we played as a team on both ends of the floor was special. Yep. Sorry.
Absolutely. See Coach Joe Wallace, he got a fresh cut for the game coming on at 3 o'clock. You guys want to add anything here?
Yeah, let's go ahead.
You can feel the energy in practice too. Like guys are like actually happy to be around each other. Like especially myself. Like I've enjoyed every single practice. Like I can't say the same thing like 2 years ago. Like you know what I mean. Like I love these guys. These guys are like my brothers. Like Like we like hang out outside of basketball. I love the coaching stuff. I love Coach Wallace. Like he's been like a mentor for me. Like like a male figure like in my life. So and it translates like into games and stuff. Like we actually we're happy for each other. Like I remember seeing Travis dunk. Like, that made me so happy as if like it was me dunking basketball.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have been a joy to watch, but more than that, you've been a joy to see grow. I mean, and that warms my heart. Just to see guys come along and you see them year after year, and you guys done that. You brought a lot of joy into the town. I know that.
Anything else, guys?
Okay, these are the seniors here. Josh Zimmerman in his 7th year here. Yon Koo, Derek Darrow, Nick Alianello, Coach Joe Wallace. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with the voice of the Barons, Tim Delaney. Live from the Harp and the Habit. From the Harp and the Habit. We'll be right back.
Awesome.
Okay, we're back here at the Harp and the Habit. Coach Joe Wallace, Tim Delaney got permission from his wife that he could stay a little bit longer.
That's right.
So, but we want to talk to Tim immediately before we get into basketball. Let's talk about the Barons Club and the Barons Banquet that's coming up in April.
Yeah, the 56th annual Baron Club dinner honors a couple great ones, and it has Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland Brown coach, as our keynote speaker. He's going to be great.
Yes.
We got up and met with him. He's funny. He wanted to know about our community and university so he could integrate that into what he's going to share. So far as he wants to know who our rivals are, why they're our rivals.
He's already he doesn't like W&J already. So
yep, we got him squared away there. Now, yeah. So he's going to be great. We have 2 honorees this year. One is the Barron Club, the Father Terrence Henry Barron Club honoree is Leo Lanigan, and it's kind of shocking that we had never honored him before. We went back and checked all the books, just the impact that Leo's had on generations of kids.
73 years.
73 years involved with Steubenville Central football. And the other is it's the Hank and Kay Kuzma Family Award to Tom and Sarah Gentile.
Yes.
So the night's it's actually going to be a little bit different, Raymond. We're going to have I just want to promise this. The food is an upgrade.
Yes.
The night will flow much easier.
Yes.
Kevin Stefanski will have plenty of time to share and get people out of there a little earlier. You have to come and see it to see what we're talking about, but it's going to be a lot more of a fun evening.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more. Yeah, it's just going to be a lot more interactive with the crowd, with the guests together, which is a good change. Yeah, the food's definitely going to be an upgrade. It was always great, but we
Always good.
Yeah, it's going to be upgraded even more, and a lot more technology we're going to use for this year. So
yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
And like I said in the previous segment, as Mike Simon said, the biggest compliment I've heard about the Barron Club is it has taken the spot that the Lou Holtz Hall of Fame dinner was. I mean, what an honor to have that kind of thing thrown down. We'd love a lot of sponsorships. It benefits Barron Athletics.
It does.
So it's a big need for the university, and we'll give you a heck of a great time.
Yes. And going back with what he said about Coach Stefanski, I mean, we had a chance to sit down with him, and NFL coaches their schedules are extremely busy all year round. But he was really excited to talk about the university. He's known about Franciscan, he knows about Steubenville, everybody does, and he's excited to come down here. And I think he's really motivated to make it a really good event because he knows that probably 80% of this town is Steeler fans, so to make it even funnier event.
Yeah, we walked out of there. Joe being a Steeler fan. Unequivocally, Joe's a Kevin Stefanski fan.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Just what a great guy.
Yes.
I mean, I like Kevin Stefanski, and for one reason. I mean, he has battled through some adversity.
Oh, he sure
up
has.
there at Cleveland. I mean, just coaching the Cleveland Browns is a challenge, but to have all the trouble that he's had on top of that, and for him to maintain his sanity and still be a gentleman about it, I gotta love. But this Barron's dinner is going to be special to me because of my good friend Leo Lanigan.
Yes.
I mean, I grew up with Leo. I mean, believe me, Leo is. Okay, we're finally going to get to talk basketball with the coach of the Barons, Joe Wallace. We've talked about everything else, and right now it's basketball, coach. You get a big win on Wednesday over Waynesburg. Yep. Played an excellent second half. These two games are important. The one following this show against Geneva College and the win over Waynesburg. Let's talk about these two games, first of all. Your win and what we got coming in a little bit.
Yeah, so the Waynesburg game on Wednesday night, we didn't get off to a great start. We were they did some things defense that on their offense end that we kind of weren't expecting, and it took us a little bit of time to adjust. I give our guys a lot of credit to have that focus for us to give them the adjustments, and they kind of exceeded that. And offensively in that first half, it was bad. We were not sharing the basketball at the level that we can. There wasn't a lot of movement happening. The second half was completely different. Defense ratcheted up. We were popping the ball around, finding open guys. It was, like I said earlier in the segment, it was probably the best half of basketball that we've seen in that gym in a long time or in this town. So, we had 5 dunks in the second half, hit a bunch of threes. It was just a lot of joy of the guys playing together. And like you felt from that group there, the seniors, that's what it's all about as we head down this home stretch here. And today, this game is massive for playoff positioning, because we want to get this 5 seed, and Geneva is fighting for the 4 seed. They could fall all the way to 6, so they got a lot on their plate too. It's going to be a massive game. They are playing as well as anybody in the league right now. They've gotten healthy. They won the league last year, and they have basically that whole cast back. They're missing a few guys from graduation, but we are going to have to be on our A game on both ends of the floor. Okay, this is a really talented offensive basketball team. They're very physical defensively. They've been playing together for years. We have guys that are still a little young compared to them. But this game sets us up for the 5 seed if we take care of business, to give our seniors a win at home. In their last game at Finnegan is massively important to us, and it's going to be an emotional start to the game. But our guys are ready for that. We're going to have to do a lot of things well, though. A lot of things well.
Coach, what's the second half of the game on Wednesday night?
Yeah.
It either reaffirmed what you knew,
yeah,
or it showed you something different.
Well,
what did it do?
Yeah, that's
Because
a
you
great
guys had
question.
a gut check, so
Yeah.
you it's either reaffirming your feelings or it's showing you something as you go into the final game.
Well, it's a little bit of both because it's reaffirming what we felt like this group can become offensively in the half court, right? We've always been very good defensively on the glass, winning ugly, but it showed like what we can do offensively when we are executing the little things, right? We're screening bodies, we're moving the ball, it's going from side to side, we're making closeouts hard, and Josh is really understanding to even another level who he is as a basketball player of being able to keep his dribble in the paint, look to score, and he was kicking to guys. And what that is done right now is allowed Sawyer to take pressure off himself. Even though he had 35 in that game, it was hard to guard him because of what everybody else was doing. The complementary pieces, Travis Zimmerman, right? He's really starting to really understand what his piece is, in the half court offense. And Carl, even those guys are getting more patient, and that makes me feel if we can continue to keep doing that, we can do something even more than making a little noise in the postseason next week. Because if we're that dangerous in the half court offense, now you're talking a team that can compete to win this thing. And I've been saying that for a long time. I know we haven't seen it, but I felt that with this group. Man, we do have pieces when it starts to get right in the half court offensively. So,
well, when we had all the seniors here, your four seniors, I mean, I didn't pull any punches.
No, you didn't.
I was very, very serious, and I meant that about them because the character that I believe that these seniors, other than Josh, Josh is in his own league.
Yeah.
But the other three guys, they have been playing consistently over the years. Now you get an influx of talent, which limits their role. I mean, was that hard for you to manage them personalities, or did they accept that from the beginning, or did you have to convince them of hey, play a role, put the team first?
That's another great question. It's taken time, right? Putting time into those guys and getting them to understand what the higher purpose of this year is. Like you said, putting the team first, putting the program first. But it's not easy as an individual, and I get that. And that's one thing I think that maybe they could understand a little bit is I do understand how they feel. Like I would. I mean, like you're starting last year, playing a lot of minutes, and now you're maybe not even getting in certain games. That makes it really hard. But when we had success breeds success and happiness for everybody. But I've made sure that their roles, with leadership and in practice, and their voices were always heard and given them, the pedestal to talk. And I've been saying this now. We've been starting all the seniors the last few games, and it's not for charity. It's because of what they've done, and not only that, I think they know that they're going to come in, and they don't have to worry about getting in the flow of the game. They can just go in there with high energy, set the tone for us, set the table, and then if it's good, it goes longer. And if they do a really good job, then there's going to be a chance to get back in that thing. And I think that's helped out with a little bit, but they're just great men. It's hard coaching is hard, right? You know that. Managing people is hard, and especially when you're really caring about them as individuals, it puts a lot of stress on yourself to make sure they're taken care of. But they've done it like men right now, and that's why we're seeing this success right now with this year. I firmly believe that.
All right, Coach Joe Wallace, Barons. What's your record, Coach? 17 and 9?
I wish we'll get to 17. We're at 15 now.
15 and 9. The Barons having an outstanding year in a very, very tough President's Athletic Conference, NCAA Division III basketball, looking to move to 5. You've already secured a playoff tournament spot, which you'll probably be on the road, and want to let everybody know in our audience that this is going to be President's Athletic Conference. Will be streaming these games. Ohio Valley Sports Online will not be, so you can still follow the Bears, but it will be through the President's Athletic Conference. But we will be live here probably in about an hour from Finnegan Fieldhouse as the Barons take on Geneva College with an opportunity to move to 5, right, Coach?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So stay tuned as Joe Wallace Barons takes on Geneva from Finnegan Fieldhouse in the season finale. It's been a pleasure to bring you the Barons basketball game. So for everybody here at Ohio Valley Sports Online, this is Ray Suckoch saying thank you and we welcome all your participation. And subscribe to our YouTube channel or Facebook at OhioValleySportsOnline.com and be notified every time we go live. Thanks for watching. Until then, bye-bye.